Hi everyone. In today's lesson I want to look at something that is really interesting. It's called EduCanon. Now I'm a great believer in the use of videos because videos are obviously very engaging. We live in a generation where we are so stimulated by visual things and the things that we see. However, there's a great downside as well to video because video is really about consumption and it can be very passive. So we can think that we are using some sort of online digital pedagogy because we are showing our students a whole pack of videos. And essentially, what's the difference really? They could just be watching us live or watching us recorded. So there's no getting away from the fact that videos that are professionally put together can be really good and engaging, but we need to move them to the next level. And I've spoken about this in other videos, how specifically using Edmodo, we can post a video and post it with a challenging question or use it as a catalyst to start a debate. So when it's used in that way, it engages our students in conversation, and conversation is a huge part of online learning. But another way in which we can actually make the videos quite interesting is using this particular application, which is called EduCanon. And you can find it at www.educanon.com. Now, while I particularly like it is that it also links with Edmodo directly. So in previous videos, I've showed you how you can add applications inside Edmodo. So there's a nice tight integration. And if you go through that and you go to the applications in Edmodo, you can choose or search for EduCanon and you can have it installed inside Edmodo. Right, so once you get in, you simply need to sign up or log in for an account. So I'm just going to log in with my account that I already have. Right, once the sausage dog has settled down and you're in, you will be presented with something like this. You may see a tutorial that appears for the first time that you sign in. So this is the main place where you can now start to work with your EduCanon videos. So the idea is with EduCanon is that you can add content to videos such as quiz questions or reflective moments where the viewer takes a little bit of time to think about something. So very simple, just click Get Started. Right, once you've done that, you'll be presented with a canvas or an organizing environment like this. It's quite simple. And so what you're going to do is on the left, you're going to put some information about your video. And on the right-hand side, you're going to start being able to see the various aspects that you want to add to that video. So obviously, you are going to need a video that you're going to add. Right, so what we do is we need to put in a title and select our videos. So I have a particular video which is going to be Ken Robinson's video on the learning revolution, so let's give it a title. Then enter an objective you've got for this particular video. Right, there's a couple of options that you can choose if you like, such as selecting the grade, and maybe you want to choose your topics, etc., and subtopic if there is one. Right, now you can embed a link and from any of these particular sites. So I've got my video that I want to use. This is Ken Robinson's Bring on the Learning Revolution, great talk that he did at TED. So I will just copy the URL from the top of the page, and then once I've done that, I will go back to EduCanon and paste the URL here. Simple as that. When you've done, you can hit the little button on the side. Right, so EduCanon is going to immediately start playing the video for you, and you can pause it at any point along to add content or to add interactivity to the video. So I'm just going to pause it. Right, once you have pasted your video in, there's a whole lot of options down the side here. You can simply hit play and start to watch your video. And there's options to crop, finish your build, or add a question. So let's just quickly start with crop video. So what may happen is you don't want to show the whole video, you just want to use part of it, which is quite handy. Now, in this particular video, I know there's a whole lot of content at the end after he finishes talking, so we can maybe just end it around about there. Okay, so I want to end my video at around about that stage so you can see wherever your marker is. So that's at 16 minutes. So I could just drag this to around about the stage where I want that video to end. And you can see that at the top where it's going to trim to. So I wanted that at was 16 and a half minutes roughly. That should do it. So that's going to trim my video to that position. So that's crop, and you can crop both the left and the right hand side of your video. Right, the second aspect is to now add questions to our video. Right, so all you do is you play your video and get it to a point where you want to add a particular question. So for example, I know at around about this mark he's going to say something particularly interesting.
So if you said to them, don't do this anymore, they'd wonder what you're talking about. Because it isn't what they do, it's who they are. They say, but this is me. You know, it would be foolish for me to abandon this because it speaks to my most authentic self. And it's not true of enough people. In fact, on the contrary, I think it's still true of a minority of people.
Okay, so let's say at that point I'm going to put in a question, or a moment for them to reflect. So you click Add Question, the screen splits in two, and it gives you various options. So it can be a multiple choice question, it can be check all of the answers that apply, reflective pause, etc. So I'm going to make this a reflective pause. And now simply you type in your question or your thought for this moment. There's a whole lot of options. You can bold, italics it. You can even insert links. So you can have a link to even another video if you like, to an image, etc. So there's quite a lot that you can actually do here. And it's saying, well, it's going to save this at 252. So you click that.
And I think there are many possible explanations.
Right, so the video is now going to continue until we find the next spot where we want to add in some interactivity. Right, so I know a little bit further on in this video, there is another spot where I think it would be good to maybe put in a question.
But a revolution in education. This has to be transformed into something else.
Okay, so that's a great spot for me to maybe stop the students for a moment and put in a question. So again, all we're going to do is click Add Question, and this time maybe I want to make it a multiple choice question. So click Multiple Choice, and simply you type in your question here in the first part, and then below there are the various options for your questions, or the answers to the question. You can also randomize the answer order if that's necessary, so we are going to now type in the answers to our questions here. In addition to the answer to the question, or one of the options of the answer, you can also put an explanation. So if that's not the correct answer, or even if it is the correct answer, you can put an explanation that is associated with that answer. Okay, and so on you go, entering the various questions that you have. And you can add more options, so this has just got 2 options, but you can add 3 or 4 options if you want to have multiple options for this particular multiple choice question. Right, and obviously what you've got to do is make sure that you click which is the correct answer. So this is multiple choice, so only one of them can be the correct answer. So you just click the little radio button on the left, and when you're happy, click Save.
One of the
and so it will continue on.
challenges is to innovate fundamentally.
And so the process essentially carries on, and you can keep adding questions at various points in your video. As I said, you can use reflective clauses, check all that apply, and multiple choice. Now, what's quite nice is that each of these gives you an opportunity to engage the student, to make sure the student is watching and is thinking about the video content. So it's a great way to get them drawn into what's going on and not just sit back and chew on a pile of popcorn, which of course they can do, but also to make sure that they are cognitively invested into what is happening. Right, so once you've added all your questions, the next thing is to simply choose a Finish Build. And here you have an option to go back to your lesson, back to your lessons, or assign this to a specific lesson. EduCanon allows you to have all of this and to build lessons within EduCanon. I'm using EduCanon as part of Edmodo, so at the moment I can just go back to my lessons. Right, so your lessons are called bulbs, so at any stage you can find them at the top here. This is where design takes place. Assign is assigning them to a specific group if you're using EduCanon as your platform. Again, I'm not doing that. Or you just go to bulbs where you can find all the lessons that you have. You can also monitor what interactivity has taken place on each of your so-called bulbs. Right, so here you can preview your lesson from the student point of view, so that's quite nice just to see how they're going to see it. Just click that little eyeball and you'll see how they're going to see this lesson. So it'll come up with the video, and click play, and as per usual everything's going to continue to play as a normal video. along the bottom here, we can see the points where they are going to reach the interventions that we have put into this lesson. So I'm just going to drag it there so we can have a look. Right, so we get to this particular point. They're busy watching the video.
And it's not true of enough people. In fact, on the contrary, I think it's still true of a minority of people.
Okay, so what happens is the video pauses, and so here's this reflective, do you love what you do, etc. And so this is just a reflection point. There's nothing necessary that they need to do, but it's forcing them to stop and think about the video at this stage. And once they're happy and they've given a bit of thought, they just click the thumbs up, and the video is going to continue.
And I think there are many possible explanations.
So let's jump to where we've got, and you can see all the different interventions. We might jump to our next one to have a look at what happens when they reach that point. Right, so reach the next spot, and again, now this one is now a multiple choice question. If the model is broken and it's based on an industrial paradigm, what should we do? Just stick with it, etc. All the options. So let's just say they go with just stick with it. And they're happy with their choice, they hit the thumbs up. And because it's the wrong answer, obviously it gets highlighted to indicate it's the wrong answer. And it also tells them why that is not the correct answer, because we could put that in as an explanation. And the correct answer is now highlighted in green, so they can see, oh, that's what I should have said, and they can now continue by clicking the arrow. And so basically that's how it works. It continues on, so we can get a perspective of how our students are now going to see our lesson. So it's very simple now if you want to share this with your students. Really the easiest way is you could just go to the top here and grab that link. So simply grab that link, and you can take that link and paste it directly into Edmodo, and your students would then be able to see this particular lesson. Also, you could come back to where your bulbs are. You will see there are some other options. You can go back and edit your lesson if you'd like to edit it at any stage, or else you can also click this, which is going to give you the shared link. It gives you some other options: monitor registered students, monitor unregistered students, share with colleagues, etc. Essentially, this is going to end up giving you the same sort of link. There's one that you can plug into a website if you wanted to do that, or just grab this link here at the top again. So really simple, just grab the link, either that one there or the one that you have seen that your students use. That's the one I normally go and grab because I like to see what it's going to look like from their perspective up front. You just grab that link and you are ready to pop that directly into Edmodo, and so your students can then watch it from inside Edmodo. Right, so I'm back here in Edmodo, and I want to now post this and get them to have a look at this video. All you then got to do is then paste in your link that you've copied from the other page, and it's going to put that directly into here. You can again change this. That's sort of maybe a little bit of a random title that is put in there. So put in whatever the video is called. And simply hit attach. Right, simple as that. Once you're done, you just got to hit send, and it's going to post that to your group. So it'll appear, as you can see there, as a post, and it is now clickable from within inside of Edmodo. So anyone who's using Edmodo who now wants to look at the video, they can click it directly from here. And there we have it, ready to roll, and your students can now watch and engage with this content. When they're finished, they can go straight back and they can continue to comment on the video. So that is EduCanon. It's a really useful way to get your students to get more involved, more engaged with video content rather than being passive consumers. So check it out. Nice way to get learning to happen through even more conversation that is seeded by video.